Hello everyone, today we're going to talk about how fluid moves in between your compartments. And what I mean by compartments are, I'm going to talk about how fluid moves between your intracellular fluid as well as your extracellular fluid. So I'm going to show you an example of how we bring fluids in and we move that water from your blood plasma, we cross it through your interstitial fluid, and then eventually I'm going to move on into my intracellular fluid. The same thing goes for if I'm going to show you how I'm going to take fluid from my intracellular fluid, pass it through my interstitial fluid, and eventually into the blood vessels through my plasma. So two great ways to show you how fluid moves in and out of our different compartments. So one thing to think about is when you're moving water, it moves by the means of osmosis. And if you can remember what osmosis is, it's a type of diffusion where we're involving water. And this water moves from an area of higher concentration to an area of lower concentration. And there's two terms I want you to remember before we get started. And you may have learned this in Biology 10, but I definitely talked about it in Bio 211. There's a difference between a hypotonic solution versus a hypertonic solution. When you think of the word hypotonic solution, hypo means low. So hypotonic solution is what we refer to as having a solution that's low in solute particles or solid particles. So it's very watery, but very diluted, less solute particles. Now, when you think about a hypertonic solution, this means that hyper means high number. So hypertonic solution means I have a high number of solute particles that are suspended in water. So when you think about hypertonic, think of high solute particles, less water. And knowing these terms between hypotonic and hypertonic solution will help you try to figure out how water is going to go based on hyper versus hypotonic solutions. So here's a great figure in your book to show you an example of how we're going to move fluid between our compartments. And in this example, we're going to show you when we're actually drinking water. And we're going to show how water passes from your system, from your oral cavity, eventually into your cells. So think about this for a second. When water enters your blood, we have to go from your digestive system, and eventually it becomes part of your blood plasma. So here's a good view showing you your capillary after I drank some water, and eventually it's absorbed through my digestive system and then goes into my bloodstream. And imagine what's in your capillary. You have a lot of red blood cells, plasma proteins, and so on. But when you add more water to it, it kind of dilutes the actual components in your blood vessel. So you would think of this as being high water, low number of solutes or less number of solutes because I've diluted them by drinking all this water. So you're going to think of this as a hypotonic solution. And if you want to go ahead and circle this in your textbook, please do. Hypo means less particles, more water, or less solutes or more water. And I added a box here called blood plasma to show you this is what I'm referring to as a hypotonic solution. Now, when you think about what's going on inside the cells, we typically have more solutes inside the cell and less water. So now let's try to figure out how water is going to move when I'm drinking water. I bring that water into my blood plasma, and right now I technically have more water within my blood vessel than I do inside my cell. So when you think about this, water is going to move towards the more concentrated solution of what's found inside my cell, my intracellular fluid. So water is moving from a higher concentration in my blood plasma to a lesser concentration within inside my cell. Now let's look at a different example. Say I've become dehydrated or haven't drank a lot of water today. And so I can actually change my blood composition again. So when you actually become dehydrated, you can see here in my blood vessel, I'm going to be very concentrated. So I'm going to have a lot more cells, less water. So my blood plasma becomes more hypertonic, becomes more solute particles, less water. And if you want to draw a box and put blood plasma as more solutes, less water, please do. And then now compare it to my cells here. My cells typically have less solutes in it but I'm going to have more water, comparatively speaking, versus my blood vessel. So I have a hypotonic situation happening here inside my cell. So I'm going to typically have more water inside my cell than in my blood vessels. So naturally, my water is going to be leaking out of my cell, going from a higher concentration of water to a lesser concentration in my blood vessel. So you can see here, just by changing how much water you drink throughout the day can determine how well I can replenish water going into my cells versus how much, if I'm dehydrated, I'm going to actually suck the life out of my cells and drain the water of my cells to be able to maintain my blood volume. So this is a great way to show you the differences of water moving in and out of our cells, and we can actually control that just based on how much water we drink. Okay, that's the end of this presentation.